It's MistaJam on Capital Dance, and right now I am joined by a friend of mine, a friend of the station, the one, the only, the artist behind this week's Jam Hot Record of the Week. It's Everything's in the building! Hey! Hold on. Dan, you brought an entourage of very important people with you. They're not making noise. The rule is if you're staying in the radio studio,
come on, you've got to
got to
pretend
be
you
part
like
of,
me.
like Steve Wright's radio crew. Come on, you know
You've
how
got
to
to pretend you like me.
Hey,
that's better.
Yes!
Now I feel at home.
Thank you for coming back, mate.
Well, my pleasure, mate. My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the reason why you're here. You own the final record of the week on this station for the year.
Well, hey, that is a big deal, actually.
It is a big deal.
I had no idea.
And it's a big record.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Well, I've been telling you for 3 years.
Yeah, I know. I know. And it's been one of those ones that just came about. Well, I gave it to you almost straight away after I made it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like literally a couple of weeks after I made it. And it just, it's been popping off since that day. And it never stopped. And then, obviously, yeah, the label just cleared it without telling me. She said, oh, by the way, mate, we've cleared it. Do you want to put it out? I was like, oh, all right then, yeah, sound. Nile Rodgers was like, they sent, obviously over the years, Nile and Merck, his manager, have had loads and loads and loads of requests to put out versions of it. And this was the first one he ever okayed and was like, this is the one, this is going to be big. So it's got the seal of approval from the man that made the record, which is really cool. I've asked him to do a video to prove it, but he hasn't.
I was going to say, have you met him yet?
Mate.
Have you met him yet?
Yeah. I did an IMS. I did work with him. Like,
you did.
Yeah, IMS Anthem, like back in 2014 or 2013. So yeah, we worked together, and he's a lovely man.
He is. He's one of the nicest humans in the world.
He really is, and he could not be. He could be quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Like how famous he is, and how many people he's met, and where he's been, and what he's done. But he's salt of the earth, lovely guy. So yeah, and it's got his full seal of approval.
He does this amazing thing when you're talking to him. He'll just be talking about working on some random song, and then and then Madonna came in.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he just like name drops, but not in a name drop look at me way. It's like they just sort of slip out his mouth. Yeah, he's a geezer.
I said that to Bowie.
Yeah, he's such a geezer.
And you know what? The fact is that the reason why I think he's cleared this version is because of how good it is.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I don't want to. That's in the eye of the beholder. But for it, I know for a fact that as soon as I did it, I was like, that's going to boot off, because I had an old white label of it years ago.
Yeah,
like 1998, and I found it in my record collection and played it, and it was rubbish. It sounded terrible. It was just rubbish. I was like, because what I was going to do is rip it and just edit that and play it. And then I realised that this is rubbish, so I had to remake it and do it again. And actually, it's worked out great.
For anyone that hasn't understood or maybe is new to the Eats Everything party, it started off as a rebeef.
Yes.
Explain a rebeef.
Well, a rebeef is where I take someone else's record and make it my own, basically. Whether that be, putting extra drums on something or completely remaking it from a loop, or it's just an edit, really. But I call them rebeefs because rebeef.
And also you're beefing it up.
Yeah, I give it extra welly, and I remaster things and stuff like that. So yeah, and this one was a full remake from the ground up. So just getting like a couple of loops and building it. So, and as I said, I knew as soon as I did it, it's going to whack off, and it did. And every time, Dom Dollar, Chris Lake, yourself, like so many people have been playing it all over the place for years and years and years, and it's never stopped. You know what I mean? It didn't ever plateau. It just kept on. So when they said we cleared it, I was like, well, let's go.
That is what I call great A&R from your label.
Yeah, Anton Powers, big up Anton Powers.
Big up Anton!
Yeah, he literally just made, oh, by the way, and it was so matter of fact and so like nonchalant. Like, by the way, mate, we've cleared that upside down thing. Do you want to put it out? I was like, yeah, go on then. It's not often you get to clear a record of that, like that iconic record, do you know what I mean? So yeah.
I wanted to take a look back at this year with you because it's been another belter. Creamfields, numerous Ibiza dates, your own history of rave parties. What's been your highlight so far for the summer? Let's just focus on the summer for a second.
Creamfields was a good one, to be fair, because I was playing on. No, this is no offense to Creamfields, but I was playing on quite an undesirable arena.
Yeah,
like you've got like the Steel Yard and you've got the Runway, which are like destinations, and there'll be people there no matter what. Whereas this one, I'm playing in just like an old tent that's been there forever, and I took it from literally no one, to 10,000 people. So I've been around a while and I still got it, which is nice. It's a nice feeling because when you're stood in that tent and there's 100 people with 10 minutes before you start, you're like, this is going to be horrific. And then, 5 minutes for you, then there's 2,000. And then when you play your first record, there's like 7,000 or 8,000. And by 20 minutes in, it's completely full and you're just like, all right, people still like me. So, because sometimes you can get anxious, you're worried about, like, especially as you've been in it for a while and there's loads of new people who are doing loads of amazing things and things are changing musically and stuff like that. To know you're still relevant, it's a nice feeling because obviously it's terrifying that I'm going to be back on a building site one day. Do you know what I mean?
But you've kept up with the times. You've kept up with the times, though, Dan.
I've tried. I still do it my own way, but
you always do.
Yeah, but I do. I have kept up. I've tried my hardest to keep up with the times and keep like sort of not reinventing myself, but just pushing boundaries a little bit and whatnot. And I think I do all right. So yeah.
And when you're someone like me and you, we remember when this cycle happened before.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly. Like Speed Garage is on its like 5th incarnation now. Do you know what I mean? We've had Speed Garage, then we've had Bassline, then we've had Tech House, Deep House, and now we've got Speed Garage again.
Yeah.
It's mental.
What's happened next?
I know, exactly. And that's not even in 20 years.
No.
It's been around 5 times in less than 20 years. Mental.
It's great, though.
Oh, I love it.
Because you will play a little bit of everything in your sets. That's the thing.
And it's what people like Sammy Vergy and Skeptic and people are doing nowadays. It's wicked. It's like, especially Sammy Vergy, his is like a fresh take on it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. So there is a lot of it that it could have been made in 1996, which I like, but they're not really doing anything inventive. Whereas what Sammy Vergy does is he's reinvented it in his own way, but it's modern, but it's still got a nod to the old school. So yeah, big up Sammy Vergy.
I mean, I love how much of a fan you are of other artists, but let's talk about you for a second.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Speaking of summer, in August, you released a big ravey piano banger alongside Stevie Appleton, which was a former Jam hot for us too.
Yeah, it was. That was a good one. It's that served me well as well. It was again made a long time ago.
Really?
Made in lockdown.
Jeez.
The original incarnation came in lockdown, and then sort of went through different iterations of it, and different. Then we finally got the vocal in about 2022, and then I was about to swear. Then played about with it and did loads of, and went in the studio with different people, and eventually we sort of got it to where it was, and it came out. Yeah, it did really well. It's been a good year, man. It's been a really good year. I've had some nice records come out, and.
Happy People, I think, really did what it said on the tin. I remember you'd sent it to me.
Yeah.
And literally, I'd landed in Ibiza and I was playing Pasha that night.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I sent it to you. It was like a couple of weeks before it came out. And yeah, you were like, you played it straight away, bang.
It booted off.
Excellent. No, that's what you want.
Nobody knew what it was, but their hands were in the air.
That's what it was about that tune. Every time I played it, it was one of those, and no one knew it, but everyone reacted like they did.
Yeah.
Which is the sign of a good record, sign of a popular record. I'm not going to say it's good or bad, just,
I could say it's a sign of a good record.
Ah, thanks very much.
What would you say your favourite memory of dropping Happy People was?
Probably at Wilderness Festival, when my kids and all my mates' kids, because it's a family festival, and I always do this thing on a stage called the Atrium on a Saturday evening. And for the set, I get all my kids, all my mates' kids, Vernon Kay's kids, anyone's kids that are there that are at the festival, all on stage, all just dancing in front of me. And I played, and there's like 5,000 people out in the crowd, and then just like, a group of from 15 to 4 years old on stage, like about 40 of them, just going nuts on the front of the stage. And I remember playing it then, and everyone went mental, including the kids, and they all have do the conga and stuff like that. It's wicked. It's amazing.
Love that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
What a memory you could give to your kids as well.
I mean, like when I was their age, 4 years old, I was basically eating mud in the back garden, and they're on stage raving. Don't know they're born.
Well, we've also had those experiences where we're raving and also eating mud, but that's another story.
Yeah, that is a different story. The less said about that, the better.
Save that for the book. Save that for the book. I think we are going to have to, though, give you the crown for the best release parties because you threw a Happy People party on a canal boat in London.
And the guy,
was that Mark's idea?
Yeah, no, it was Mark. Have you seen the viral video of him stood on the side? Looking grumpy as sin. I didn't even know him.
You didn't know Mark at that point?
No, I didn't know Mark at that point. And Jacko, like my tour manager, Remy, big up Remy, filmed him, and and he basically, and then Remy was going, look at this is amazing, what an amazing bit of content. And then Jacko was like, That's Mark Murphy.
Plugger extraordinaire, a man that I have known for about 20 years. And let me tell you, that's his normal state.
Honestly, it was mint. It was like, this is the fact that he was known. It was brilliant. And then I'd never met him before, and we Chaco set up a group after that. It's called Unhappy People. It's a group on WhatsApp, and then we realised he's actually a really lovely, joyous fellow.
He is. He is.
That's amazing.
Apart from when the song Happy People comes on.
He's like, not interested, mate. See you later.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So I want to take you back to your first release of 2024.
What was that?
Ghosts.
Oh, yeah, with Lorenzo, yeah.
With Chris Lorenzo and
That's
Lily
a good one
McKenzie.
as well, yeah, Lily McKenzie, yeah, she's brilliant.
She is.
She's brilliant.
She's
she
really
came and
good.
performed it live at Glastonbury, actually, which is really cool.
How was that?
It was really cool, yeah, really booted off. Yeah, it was one of them ones we made it. We made it in LA, me and Lorenzo, and I'd never made an organ tune before.
Why? It makes perfect sense for you, knowing the cross section of everything that you're into.
I just never done it. It just never sort of entered my mind to do one. And then we did it and we knocked it out in a day. And then he had this vocal from Lily, which was on a completely different record, like a really melodic record. And we took it off, pitched it up, pitched it down, and then that's what it came about. And it was a slow burner, that one. It sort of started off and then it got bigger and grew and grew and grew and grew. And it kind of was still going. I mean, it's still going now. That's the kind of the beauty of streaming, I guess, isn't it? Things last a lot, records last a lot longer and can become popular. Not from release day, if it doesn't go well, for example. A couple of months later, you can have a big record. So,
especially in our world, especially in the dance world at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's all changed, hasn't it? It's all changed.
It kind of has, but I've got a theory that, again, this is just how it was when records would be put out. And they'd be vinyl, and it would take a while for the vinyl to kind of get to that fever pitch.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's right now. It's a strange time for music because of venues closing and stuff like that. And but at the same time, there's some really exciting stuff going on. So it's like, you've got to take the positives rather than look at the negatives and try and just basically ride that wave and keep it going, basically.
What was it like working with Loz, with Chris Lorenzo?
Oh, wicked. He's a legend. We played back-to-back, actually, a couple of weeks ago at Drum Sheds. And we'd never DJ'd before together.
Really?
And it was unbelievable. Like, one of the best sets I've played in years.
Why?
Don't know. Just, we got on. We had a laugh. and we just played bangers. And he has similar records to me, but different. But they're similar in vibe. And he came a bit more towards me, and I went a bit more up towards him. What you'd play in a big 10,000 cap room, and we sort of met in the middle, and it absolutely booted off. It was
mentioned in 2025. Looking ahead, the XOYO in London residency.
Yeah.
First and foremost, a trade link up.
Yeah. Trade. Well, because I did trade in 2023 in February, and I'd never done it. And obviously, I'd always wanted to do it.
So, for anyone that is listening that doesn't understand what trade is,
trade was like the original after party in London, like started in 93 at Turmoil, 92, 93 at Turmoils. And used to go on, and Tony DeVitt was like the main guy, Sharp Boys, Smoking Joe, Alan Thompson, Ian M. Yeah, none of these names will mean anything to most people listening. But
if you know music, these are names you look for.
And it was like an unbelievable party. I only went there a couple of times. It's mainly, an LGBTQ plus rave. And it was just something I always was into, that kind of music. I've got all the trade releases because it was a record label as well. I'm a massive Tony DeVitt fan. And then when we were thinking about, because I did XOYO residency 10 years ago, like for this sort of when it happened. Wow. So we were like, let's go back 10 years. I'm DJing in January, which I'm not happy about at all.
Why?
Because I never normally DJ in January, but it seemed like too good an offer to refuse. So,
well, listen, I first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. As
Really
always.
appreciate it. And second of all, mate, you are one of those people within our scene who truly brings light to it.
Oh, thanks, mate. That's a lovely thing to say.
But you do. I remember the very first time that we met in a random airport going to Snowbombing Festival, and you came up to me and was like, "Are you MistaJam?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Since we met, all you've done is bring light to people.
Well,
you've tried. You've helped people. You've brought people together. You play great music. You don't fit into this kind of thing where like it's beautiful to see. And long may it continue.
Mate. Oh, thank you very much. It's very, feel I'm welling up here, actually.
Nah, it's
I'll
true.
have a little cry, but thank you, mate. Honestly, it's really kind of you to say so. Yeah, and I'm just happy I'm still here. Happy we're still here,
Yes.
doing what we do.
Yes. A few more greys, but hey,
Yeah.
a lot of life left in the old dog yet.